There we go. I will be back in just a second. Woo. All right. Nice. Let's grab that. Get that. And I guess I'll start. Hello. I have decided that today I will be drawing Victor. Probably after getting probably season 2 Victor. I want to draw him with the longer hair. It's kind of like graying and stuff. Even though season 1 Victor is pretty cool, I kind of want to try going with this version. You know what? Actually, his eye line should be, yeah, a little lower. And then hello. Remember, he has a very narrow face, but his jaw is also pretty big. Because I know he has like a lot of shadow on his face. And today, I took the liberty of getting a reference photo. Because there's no way I'm going to remember all the designs for, for him without a reference. Just blocking out some rough stuff real quick. You have to wait a little, you have to keep going, bud. You're gonna have to keep going, bud. Try day 21. I don't think I've given mod to anybody yet. I don't think I'm gonna start quite now. Yeah, so he has a very defined face. That's the problem. For me personally. Because I'm very bad with drawing faces that don't end up looking really round. This is going to be about as rough as it gets for a rough outline because it's a rough outline. One of them, he is a very thin guy, yeah. This is just, it looks thick right now because I did a very small circle, but he is really thin and frail. Real quick. I'm thinking right now. So with his face, I'm gonna give him a chin. It's like about right here. Put it up. His eyes are about this level right here. And let me see. His forehead is definitely gonna be about right there. I'd say I want to also draw him with a hood because that'd make him cooler. Hold it. I'm running out of a eraser for that pencil. So just trying to block out the rough shapes for him right now. That way I get it right bearing. I really don't want to mess up Victor because he's a really cool character. So let's take a few seconds to try to get down his rough shape. I know he has like this like design that goes like this for his neck because that's what the reference photo says. Yeah. It's like right by his collarbone. I don't know, he has a lot of like gold also, like woven into whatever that dark flesh stuff is of his. So it's gonna be fun to like when I'm coloring it in. Let's go really quickly up to him. His face. Let's put his jaw right. Again, Arcane has the really realistic noses, which I think is most unfortunate for my poor artistic abilities of not being able to draw those the best. But I will have to attempt to not botch it. But this is gonna be rough for there right now. Yeah, so his face is much sharper, so it would go a little more down actually. And then, so take a second to get my bearings on this guy. His cheeks go bend right there. Again, very rough. I have the hair go like roughly here. I have it go wavy here. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have not taken a, I'm not copying any reference photos, I just have one for his body because I don't remember exactly how the gold and everything goes into him. But I probably should have taken one with a better look at his face. It seems so obvious now. I should have done that. gonna be the top of a hood. I'll just mark that out for now. Because I want to show his hair a little bit into there. His neck is gonna be thinner. Some of these rough things. That's gonna be roughly what I want his hood to look like. And that's gonna be how his face is gonna appear in the hood. Because I do want to get his neck and some of his body in there. I'm also gonna have his shoulder relax actually a little bit more. So I'm not gonna have this full part of it in there. And just to make sure he's not like so. He's not a bulky guy really. He's really skinny for the most part. Which is probably, should be easier to draw. Because I'm not that good with making really beefy characters. He's gonna have a really baggy cloak over him because he has that whole, I wouldn't call it a shirt, it's like a really long towel thing that just wrapped around him. Alright, that's good enough right now for something rough. Thank you. Okay, so let's go a little more into that face real quick. I just want to know where his eyes are going to be. Be roughly where I want his eyes to be. He also has hair, so that's gonna be about coming down right here. I want it cutting off his eyebrows as well. Hi Miley, how are you? Yeah, I remember you. And that about right there. And who is Victor without his very thick eyebrows? Of course, not as thick as Jace's, but decently thick. He really has. I forgot about that. He really does have a very thick layer. What I marked out here specifically is going to be the light on his face, because he does have a very like angled looking face. It's kind of like Phineas, but from Phineas and Ferb, but not like that crazy. So there's gonna be a very heavy shadow for those parts. Hmm. Have this thing go down to the center. And his hair would end about right here. So I'm gonna try to cut that right there. Now this looks like a lot of very chaotic, very rough lines right now. So I'm gonna have to clean that up in just a second. But first, let's go down to his lower body real quick and deal with, let's say his arm is going like this. And heading up to, going down right here, and then going up to hold a staff. I know there's a few staffs he has. Like he has that one that like he uses as a crutch almost. I'm gonna use the one from, it's like a almost this type of design, if I remember correctly. And if that's not what the design was, then well, that's what I'm drawing with. So it's a little too late to save that. One very important thing about him is that he doesn't have that big of a forehead, so I'm going to cover that up real quick. Hi. Obviously very rough. Actually too rough for me. His face would be going much more like that. Okay, now he has like this, like that whole thing that I said a little earlier. It's like a whole thing like draped over him. It's like this really long blue cloak. I don't exactly know what that looks like because my only reference was for the black like flesh on his body. Next time I draw him, if I do, I'm gonna have a much better reference. But it kind of just like falls over him, which is gonna be the extent of what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna draw his upper body like that. That should be a good rough shape. Okay, and then his hands obviously are very holding it for the most part, where they should be. So that's gonna be that for now. And then we're also gonna have this whole thing going over here and then going open for him because it's like draped over him. Kind of like priest, like robe, kind of like a priest's robe. But again, it's blue, so it's interesting. Hi, how are you? Okay, so I'm doing pretty good. Hi. So many people saying hi. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the face real quick, and I'm gonna try to see to the eyes because he's looking a little too up. So I'm gonna give him a little, make his eyes go a little more down, and then open them up a little bit on the bottom. Okie dokie. Yeah, definitely. I don't like how the design was. Hmm. Oh yeah? What types? Hmm. I'm thinking right now. Technically, this hair should be a little more up. Then coming down like this. Let's put that right there. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has a very interesting style to its art. Hmm. Very interesting. I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna redo. This is supposed to be high quality paper. I don't think it ended up being high quality paper. Which kind of, on one hand, is kind of sad, but not really anything I can do about it. Same mistake, of course. That's a little better, I think. Yeah, definitely. I despise eyes, depending on the character. Some eyes are pretty easy to draw, other ones are not at all. And for some reason, Victor has very anime-esque eyes, but not like the fun type. The type that are like thin and annoying to draw. Oof. Like I'm spending a little too long on the face, but I want to get it somewhat looking more like him. Alright, that's good enough for now. His eyebrows, kind of erase that. Okay, so that looks roughly like him. Good enough for being rough. Really quick, let's map out the folds in the clothing. Exactly like that, which means let's have that go like that. And then come up. And I know he does have a emblem on him, which is probably going to be too complicated for me to add. But I am going to add a little gold little circle here for that for now. And if you just realize I'm drawing really to the side of this page. Unintentional. I thought I was going to make him facing a different way. I didn't, so he ended up more that way. Okay. His arm should be a little more, yeah, like that. And coming up. And then his sleeve could cover the rest of that. Okay, nice. I know this thing has a bunch of thorns in it, so I'm gonna go like that. I hope it has thorns in it. If not, Cool design choice. Let's call it that. Thank you. All right. Now that is good enough for the rough. Where did I put the... Let's use this one. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the inking. So where's my 0.6? 0.8. Very cool, very cool. Very nice. I'm gonna start with the hood because that's the easiest part to tell what's happening with. Go with that. Go into there. And then make this swing in here. Sweet. And then we're gonna go to the back of his hood. Let me get my 0.4 for this, or 0.5. Come in the top, slide in, go there. I usually use Copics, specifically the Copic multiliners. The one that I'm using right now is just an old pen that I have that I'm trying to use up. I would not recommend the pen that I'm using right now. However, these are amazing. Okay, so we're gonna add that metal to right there. Hi, how are you? Add that into right there. Thanks. Okay, so let's do his hair real quick. Comes up about right here. So that means that this will come up about right here. It'll come down just like that. So I'm gonna make, I remember his hair is definitely very wavy, especially towards like the ends of it. So I'm gonna try to get that waviness into here. Get that right up there. And then do this side. So that's gonna go like that. And then we're gonna let that side go down a little more. Just gonna go like that, and then that way with that. Make that go like that, and generally make his hair just kind of wavy down towards the bottom. Cool, okay. So that should be about good for that for now. He had much more detail to the hair later, but that's good for just the rough shape of that. Let's real quick go over to the, I should probably do the jaw real quick, definitely. Let's make the jaw much sharper. So we'll make it so it goes down like this much more. Capture the chin like that. Go there. Okay, I think that's pretty good for the rough, for the jaw and the chin. He does have a neck, because everybody has a neck. I love my neck. I know you probably enjoy having a neck. And then this kind of breaks off like that. He does have a lot of cool gold-like designs here and stuff like that, which I'm gonna have to add in a little bit. And let's make that go down like that. Okay, I know this part of the staff is gonna have to be much bigger, and I'm gonna have to redo most of that. But the stick part of this, however, is pretty good in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned. I know that there's probably some sort of scaling thing where technically this is like an inch too thick if this was real, but I mean, it's a drawing. Nobody's really gonna notice unless you're like analyzing it compared to like his facial features, which now that I pointed out, you're probably doing. Add that in like that. I'll add in his hands later, so I'm just gonna skip over that and keep going down. Cool. And there is Victor's staff. At least about 30% of it. Okay, so let's go over to, real quick, just this part. Just add some more of these lines. Just to make it look a little more like that actual fabric. So let's go to, real quick, the back. I just realized the back of his head was missing hair. There you go. Almost missed that important stuff. Okay. I'm really trying to avoid doing the face yet. Let's move on to his arm. So I'm gonna come back with the pencil real quick and try to get his hand into a better shape. So we're gonna get his fingers, something like that, roughly. It's kind of the shape that I want. I'm gonna have the rest of his hand going like that. So that means I'm gonna come back here to the fingers and make them wrap around just a little more. Okay, so we're gonna go in. How do I feel about Isha? Like her death, or just generally as a character? Because as a character, she did well for like building up the people around her and Jinx to making her feel more human. The death was kind of sad. It was probably she was overall pretty good for the story. Built up a lot of stuff. Okie dokie. You know what? Funny enough, is since I drew Echo the last before yesterday and yesterday, those two combined videos didn't get as much random traffic as this one video is getting. Like all the numbers going up and down. I mean, if we're considering cool wise, then Echo is definitely cooler. If we're considering story wise, Echo is still more important. But Isha's still a good side character, okay? Okay, real quick, let's get this to go like this. So let's go in like that. Come in like that. And then I'm not sure about best person in the series. I'm not sure about best person. Maybe definitely up there. Why am I doing this for 0.8? Let's go back to my point. Holy spam. There we go. That's a pretty good stylized hand. I like that. Ooh. He has like this like, I don't even know if that's his muscles. Does anybody know what that black stuff actually is on him? Arcane stuff. Yeah, it's that magic, but what really is it? Is it what are we classifying as arcane stuff? Is that because look, is it the muscles in his body that are mixed with like arcane energy? Is it arcane energy? And if so, what form is it taking and why does it look like muscles? Or like flesh? I don't mean muscles like the bulgy kind, I just mean muscles like the type that's just underneath your skin. It's there for your body to function. Oof. I realize I'm not probably as talkative when I'm trying to do all this line stuff. I start talking much more when I start actually coloring it in, because that's about when I'm not trying to think so much. Oh, maybe it burns. My personal headcanon is that it's just his muscles, but like also mixed with like because you see like he has like this sort of like gold metal thing, so it's like probably infused with like the arcane energy, but he was inside that mirror thing. Remember, it looked kind of like a mirror. His body was in there for a really long time, so when he exited it, he didn't have any skin, but he was covered in like the gold stuff and the gold metal stuff and the arcane energy and all that. So my personal theory is that it's just muscles, because he was inside that thing for a really long time. You know what was a sad part? Was when he was disappearing, or he was going into that beast, or he was turning into that whatever thing. At the end, he was talking to, what was his assistant's name? Jeez, I forgot her name. Why did I forget her name? Anyways, the lab assistant got like disintegrated, and it was like in that like arcane place with him, and he was like, "I'll miss our talks," and she was like, "No, you won't." And then cue sad song. Okay. I guess time to go over everything and fix up all the lines real quick, and then I'm gonna do the face. Okay, guys, time to do all of these lines, because we love going back over previously done stuff. Goes in, goes over. See, I'm using up, these pens I'm using right now are not like the best quality. I usually use these Copic ones, but I've been trying to use these up for a little while because they're cheaper ones. And I ran out of all the really thin versions of these. So I've been having to use like the thick ones to try to use them all up, because I don't usually use very thick lines. So the past few days, all my lines have been really thick because I've been trying to use up these. Yes, it is. It is a VIKTOR. I will add those details in a little bit. Let's go that through right there. Again, I'm gonna add most of the clothing folds, like, well, I'm gonna draw what I want to draw. Most of the clothing folds I'm gonna add in when I'm just doing the coloring, because obviously not everything needs black lining to it. Like most of the folds I got in the last drawings and stuff don't necessarily need to have all of these clothing folds lined out in black, because then it makes it look a little too cluttered and takes away from the shading. Okay. Well, I'm glad you like it. Arcane, that is. I'm not sure if you like the drawing. Again? What is that, like a fourth time? That's crazy. Okie dokie. Add that in. My biggest enemy in this world. My biggest enemy in this world is straight lines. So I deeply apologize if this line bothers you. I'll never be able to make it up to you. There we go. That's nice. I realize that as you draw the more important characters in Arcane, more people start commenting. That might just be me going crazy and complete chance. But look, I drew, the first day I drew Singed. Not too many people really commented on it. Second day I drew Jinx, there was an influx of people that would randomly comment. Yesterday I drew Echo, not the most, that was probably one of the least commented videos. And then today I'm drawing VIKTOR, and everybody's just starting to say random stuff. It's funny. Okay, well, how would I know that? Did like the creator specifically say that was his birthday, or was that in the show? Okie dokie. I believe that's like the line work almost fully redone now. It takes a little while to go over everything, I just noticed. You already tell I'm gonna have so much fun having to draw all the flesh. At least what I'm guessing is flesh. It's gonna be so fun, I cannot wait. Woo! I'm saying that because this is gonna be multiple colors mixed together. It's just gonna be annoying having to switch between markers and having to try to like get it looking as consistent as possible. It's one of my biggest annoyances, just having to switch between markers. Because sometimes if you make too many markers mixed together, they start streaking. As in like, they leave streaks. Wait, back to Echo's birthday. Is that in the show, or was that like just said by like the director, or an interview with one of the people associated with the production? Okay. Let's go back to his face and do the actual stuff for that. I'm gonna start with the, it's a fun fact. Well, where's this fun fact coming from? What is the source of this cool fun fact? I'm not saying that you're lying or anything, I'm just curious, because like, Echo fun fact of the day. Oh, there's multiple Echo fun facts, okay. Thank you. Before I continue his face, I'm gonna go off a little bit of a detour here real quick. I really want to do the gold stuff. I just keep looking at this and it looks a little too empty while I'm doing this. There's a lot of like circular patterns and stuff, so I'm just gonna make this up as I go. Yes, yes I did. That's a lot of ease. And yeah, whoa. Oh, this light is on. That's funny. How does it look with it off? Oof. I'm gonna keep that on. Let's make this really quickly go like that. Okay, that's so funny. Today is the only day people have ever asked me what liner I'm using. Please do not use this one I'm using right now. Please don't. It's not good. It's a really cheap one that I got a little while ago. I'm trying to use up right now. The ones I usually use is these ones. These are the best multi-liners you'll ever get, is just this Copic set. These are amazing. You can also refill them. Best liners ever. Don't use this. Okay, back to his face. I got a little sidetracked there. It's really interesting how Arcane has like these really realistic noses in their whole series, because usually, usually a lot of these like more animated ones have like much less realistic noses, but whoa, they really just drew the most realistic noses for every single character. Thanks, man. Okay, gonna add that in real quick. You know what, while I'm at it, I'm going to make just the beginning part of his eyebrows here actually black. Oh yeah, it shows some sort of color difference. It took much longer to get all the lining done than I thought it would. So my apologies for going so slow. I realize that when I'm drawing people, I tend to go much slower because there's so much more details that I could get wrong that I'm like, thanks, man. It's nice of you to say. Okay. Again, I mean, I could, but there's so much other characters to draw. Maybe like if I finish much more, maybe I could like circle back to it and then continue drawing like characters I've already drawn and like improve upon them. There's so many other cool characters to draw as well. Okay, I'm actually kind of really happy with how this is turning out. I kind of thought, well, I'm not doing that great today when I first started drawing, but oof. Okay, I do need to redo the lips right now real quick. So bear with me. I realized I completely off-centered them. The center is right here. I drew them way to the side. All right. Any tips on patience? Oh, let me think. Distract yourself. Then when somebody says you're really patient and you haven't, when somebody's like, whoa, you're really patient there. You've been waiting for a while. Or you have such patience doing this. You're like, well, thank you. When you've actually like been listening to something or been thinking about something the whole time instead of keeping your mind off the thing. I find the easiest thing to do when drawing is just kind of either start talking or just zone out. And you come back to your drawing and you're like, wait a sec, did I just draw this? Okay, I like how the face is going so far, but here's the thing. I think I'm probably gonna have to make the line much thicker for the hood because it's kind of blending into the face right now. Or no, probably. Okay. So here is currently what I'm thinking. I have a few options on where to go right now. Either I try to add some more detail to the gold here, I do the medallion, or I start erasing everything and then move on to drawing, coloring. Tough choices. I'm gonna do the medallion real quick. I don't remember what the actual pattern is for, so I'm just gonna do something random real quick here. All right, there we go. That looks good. Good enough. And then we're gonna add that in there. That looks about ready to be colored. What do y'all think? Sweet. I like that. Hi. How are you? Okay. Gojo from JJK? Oh, I could totally draw him. How about not today though, because I'm currently working on this drawing. I can do a dedicated stream for him at a later date, because he's a really cool character. Yeah, no problem. Okay. So I'm probably gonna start with the coloring now. Now the cool thing is, not really cool, it's just duh, but this paper, if you have been in any of my past streams, has been slowly filling up with colors. I have had time to replace it today, so yay. I replaced it, so now I have room to test colors. That looks like a pretty good dark blue. Let's see if this blue's any good. I'm thinking about doing a pretty light shade of blue first, and then going through later and shading it in to make it much, much darker. That one is a little too light and not the right type of blue. Wait a sec. Let's check this out. Nope. Ooh, wait a second. What is this? I like that. I like that blue. How does this dark blue look over it? It doesn't clash. It'll be good for an outline. I need one in between color though. What do I have here that's not too dark? Yes. No. Always takes the most amount of time to get the right colors. Let me think. You know what? I'm thinking what I could do is I can do a video with all explaining all my art supplies. That'd be a pretty cool idea. Because as I'm looking at them right now, I have quite a bit. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna first start off with this one. This is gonna be the lightest color. I'm gonna go through all the robe part with it, and I'm gonna see how that ends up looking. After that, I'm gonna make it much darker and go through it with darker colors. So again, this is gonna be like only used for most of the highlights. This is gonna be much darker after I shade this in. Yeah, maybe I will. I could do a video like that. Again, this is very light, which is probably what everybody's thinking. But it's gonna be colored in with a so much darker blue. I just really need this for the highlights. Yeah, so what I realized yesterday was that I was always drawing, or before yesterday, I was always drawing super small in the middle of the paper. So I've been trying to draw much bigger recently. And I think it's ended up pretty well. I mean, this probably would have not turned out the same if I drew it much smaller. I'm used to drawing really small in like my sketchbook or anything like that to make room for other stuff. But when you're doing it on a big piece of paper like this and for like a dedicated stream, it definitely needs to be bigger that way. It's distinguishable what it is. All right. It's looking good. I don't know exactly if I'm gonna have to cut this up into multiple days of doing this. I don't really want to have to draw this or finish drawing this tomorrow. So I'm thinking about just finishing this whole drawing today. I know I've cut the last two drawings I've done into 2 days each. which I don't really want to do. You know, you start a project in one day, finish it the same day. Mm. Is it like a smaller sketchbook, or do you use, or do you just have like a small printer paper or something? Or do you like physically make your pages smaller by like ripping them? You know what I used to do, which was fun, is I would take a book and like you rip half the page, and you draw on the top half of the you draw on and you turn to the next page. So you're not on the ripped page, but you're drawing on the page underneath the ripped page, and you draw something, and then you go and flip back to the ripped page, and you can see half of that drawing on the ripped page. So then you go in and you draw something random on the ripped page, and it looks funny because it looks like it's a part of the picture that's on the drawing on the bottom. That's probably one of the most known things online, but I thought that was so cool when I was little. I was like, hey, look, I have a stick figure that can go from being really buff to really skinny and weak. And then one thing I noticed that was pretty big is what is it, storytime channels? I'm just gonna say right now, I will never ever become a storytime channel. You know, like little animated characters, like Jaden Animations or Odd Ones Out. I don't enjoy watching those. I don't really know why it's popular. Just kind of like a person talking about what they've done in their life, or going to like a water park or something. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Or that is cool. I didn't exactly realize how much blue I'm going to be using. Oof. I mean, now I'm on the fun part, so I'd love to start talking much more. I'm not really that too focused on having to really. Oh yeah. I don't really. So I can just kind of talk now. I don't really have to focus too much on the like trying to do like really specific line work, because I'm done with that. So I get to enjoy my time now. Yay. I feel like the funnest part of drawing for me personally is the coloring. I know I've probably said that in almost every stream, but it's the funnest part, because you're done with that, and now you just get to sit back and enjoy and color in what you have drawn. And like bonus, what you drew looks great, it's gonna look even better when it's colored, because like now you're adding like actual color to it, so it only gets better. Unless you like take like a random color and just mess it up. I did like watching Jada Animations though a while ago, like when I was younger. Oh, and Ice Cream Sandwich. That is one. I don't consider him a storytime channel though, since he does like, yes, he has an animated mini little character, but his videos are like random stuff like, am I a relatable person, or like his cool idea for making an airplane better. Like those aren't story time. I'm talking about storytime channels. I mean like the ones that are like, so my mom forced me to go camping one week, and here's my experience. I nearly got eaten by a grizzly bear, and like you just know it's probably like fake or exaggerated like at the very least. Woo. Okay, so that's gonna be it for this lightest layer of, for this really light layer of blue. So I'm gonna add, dang, I forgot what PMO means. Can somebody please explain to my aging brain?
Hole punch. I don't know if you're the hole punch when you get done.
Ooh, it's nice. So this color that I'm using right now, the way it's different from the last color is it's much more saturated. So basically I'm using it to saturate a lot of the parts, not necessarily make them darker. The type of color I don't really have the most. So my favorite type of color is, favorite types of colors or palettes is usually very desaturated palettes. I love desaturated colors. It's probably the most that I have with markers. Regrettably, that means that I don't have a lot of like neon ones, which kind of comes back to bite me when it comes to drawing characters like Echo or like Jinx or any characters like that, because they're very neon. Sweet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a much more darker color in a sec. I don't know what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to do it in just a second. I forgot that I have this whole hooded area too. Okay, so can you break down why you like Echo so much? Because I can understand him as an amazing character. He's really great. One of my favorites. But what makes him the best to you? Why is he like the greatest to you?
Well, I don't want to risk her not having one.
Interesting. I'm trying to look for any darker blues. I have a lot of light blues, and I mean like so many light blues. The one field I'm deeply lacking in is dark blue, which is truly unfortunate for the fact that VIKTOR is 99% dark blue here. I like this blue. I'm probably gonna use this for most of this. So I'm gonna add a lot of this shading. I've also realized I'm probably have to go through in here with a gray or something to make all this darker. So I'm gonna test it right now on this sleeve. I'm gonna see if it ends up well. Hi, how are you? Okay, yeah, those are a lot of reasons to love Echo. But like, you can say that about Silco. He built an empire. He has a cool eyeball. He has, sorry, you can say that about Silco. He's built an empire. He has cool, like, actually, never mind, you can't say that about most people. Yeah, I guess Echo does have a lot of unique stuff about him. uh, I mean, admittedly, he leads the only group in the show. The only group of like established group in the show he leads. Yeah, sure. Is this the second Echo fact of the day? Also, where do you keep pulling all these from? You've had like facts about him like every day. Are these like all in your brain, or are you like finding these out every day and just saying them? Is the bug actually a symbol for hope and peace? If so, that's a pretty clever name. I wonder how you'd even come up with that. Like, imagine getting like saying, okay, let's write a show. Like, we're writing Arcane right now. We have this character. His name is Echo. He leads a group of these guys. So we want him to be a symbol of hope and peace. Let's look for the nearest. Let's go look in this insect book and see which bug means hope and peace, and we'll just make a thing out of that. Or do they like just decide that after finding it? So they look through like lists, and I don't even know. I wonder how they do that. Because sometimes things just end up too perfectly. See, I like that. This is a nice. I like how this says this coloring was looking. It's much darker, and that's how I want it to look. Okay, so where are you finding these interviews? Because I want to watch them. Because that's something that I would like to see. I like to watch interviews. Is it like a Netflix documentary or is it like on YouTube? Prime? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. You know what was cool was how they explode. That was pretty cool for the climax where Jinx dies. Or I guess almost dies. I guess maybe dies? I don't know if she's dead when she goes to Singed. Any of the interviews talk about that? Was she like fatally wounded, or was she like dead and he just brought her back? Defibrillated her. Netflix and YouTube. Okay. Is it like is it a dedicated, like a really is it a dedicated video to it, or is it like an interview that's not just for the reason of Arcane? So like if I go over to let's say Netflix right now and I search up Arcane interview, will it pop up, or do I have to search up something else? Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to I accidentally let my phone die. So sorry about that. My phone died. So I'm gonna have to really quickly move this camera around a little bit. I know this probably isn't the greatest angle, but unfortunately, I wasn't keeping track of my battery life. So actually, if I could zoom in, move more down, move more right. Almost nothing's changed. How's that? Again, I'm so sorry about that. But also not sorry because I mean, do I need to really apologize? Nice. Just really curious, does my audio still work? Because I know last time my phone died midstream and I resumed it, my audio was jank and it just stopped working. Okay, that's great. Nice. Okay. So, going on with this. Victor is also a really interesting character when it comes to just even his looks and his transformation slowly. I definitely thought he was going to die in the first season when I was first watching it. Because I was like, okay, this guy's being set up to be like a mentor-like character that's going to die. Or something like that along those lines. So I was like, there's no way this guy's going to survive. He has to be like sort of motivational death that they usually have. But like, no, he ended up being like the literal big bad at the end. Like, if there was a villain in the series, they tried to make it Victor. And also that other black lady. But like Victor was was like that. Oh, and then Silka, but I don't think Silka was necessarily evil. I think he was just trying to like get the whole Undercity to be his, right? Okay, so let's put this like this. What do you guys think is probably the most memorable scene from Arcane? Like, if you hear somebody talking about Arcane, what scene do you think you would think of? I mean, Singed. Okay, so but he does have like motive though. Like, you can't say he's necessarily the villain because he created Shimmer to save his wife or that girl. Was it ever made clear who she was? I don't remember. Was that his wife? Because he was in the pod and he had the what was it? It was a little like pocket watch thing. Can't wait to get to his face. Yeah, we'll never know. Wasn't ever talked. I'm guessing since you don't know, it probably wasn't ever talked about inside the interviews. This is what it looks like when a Copic starts drying out. The tip used to be completely black. I've only dried out 2 markers since I got these Copics. And it's been almost a year. If not a year already. Has it been a year? I'm thinking, yeah, so back to something that probably nobody remembers now we were talking about, art supplies. I'm probably going to be making a video about those, like, in the near future. That sounds fun. The last video I have in this channel is from like 7 months ago when I was into horror. And it was like a really bad animation because I sucked at animation back then. That, and I did that, I think I did it for like a 5-hour challenge. So it was even worse on top of that. Okie dokie. Yeah, that'd be cool. At least I have one guaranteed view. I'm gonna really quickly go through with this. One funny thing that I realize is that most time clothing folds are always triangles. I'm not sure if that's actually correct, but my friend pointed it out once and I just couldn't really get it out of my head after that. Okie dokie. So I'm gonna add much more of this bluish stuff real quick because still his thing is supposed to be blue. And wise, yeah. Okie dokie. I'm almost done with his clothing and cloak and everything. And then I want to move on to his arms. Hi, how are you? I'm just need to blend in these things a little more, and then I'm gonna be done with the cloak. I'm gonna move on to Victor's face and his arm. Well, first his arm, then his face. So, what would be the best color to mix it? Yes, that is what I need. It's perfect. I like that. Makes it much darker. Adds more color, that way it's not just grayish. And then one more extra color just to make it look better. Okay, so that looks almost good enough. Just need a little more on the hood here. Then it appears we are done. I like that where it is for that for now. Let's go to his skin. E51. Vi or Isha. Yeah, maybe I could do one of those. If I was to do either one of those, it'd probably be Isha first. Yay, his arms actually are gonna have color now. Ooh. Now, I did do a very light, specifically a E51 Copic skin color. However, that's not how his arm is actually going to end up being. Because, remember, he has that whole gray muscle thing going on. Which obviously means he's not going to be beige. I put down a beige just as a base for it, but it's going to be much more purpley black in a little bit. Along with, obviously, the gold. So let's really quickly do some of these symbols that he had all over his arms, or random designs. Awesome. So now I'm gonna go and make. Where do I have my purples? Where's my purple? So this purple specifically is a very deep, not very deep, is a very light purple, which I'm gonna use as a base over the beige. So the beige adds to the purple's lightness, I believe. Doomsday. That's so exciting. When is Doomsday coming out now? It's like 2 months? Or is it 3 months? Yeah, I'm thinking probably for next year I'm probably gonna be doing character I haven't done yet. Okay, it's very good for the roughest layer. And actually, while I'm at this, I can actually go right into here. Add in this part first. My good man is turning into Thanos. Okay. This is gonna be a little darker layer of purple. By a little darker, I mean like a lot darker. Cancel next. Maybe. I was also thinking about possibly Jace next. All right. Add in some purplish kind of shading stuff, and then I'm gonna go in and add in a much more darker layer of gray, because again his arms are like grayish purple, and also with the gold accents. So a big part of his arm is being gray. No, I haven't. I have heard of it though. Thank you. Okay, time to make this a little more golden. He has all these like little golden parts to him. I don't necessarily know why, but it's cool, so he's gonna have them. My least favorite? That'd probably be somebody like... what was the name of that, the lady that, that came to the place in season 2? The black lady that was, she was the mom of that one character that got the magical power stuff. She would probably be my least favorite character. Interesting. So I'm gonna real quickly go over this with this warm tone. Oh, I completely forgot about her. Yeah, she's gonna be actually my least favorite character next to that lady. I completely forgot she existed. I just didn't like her that much. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. I'm just trying to make this a little bit darker real quick. That way he matches him a little more. I really regret not having that much dark blues. It really makes it hard for shading. Okie dokie. Let's move on to, what is it? His face. Well, first his neck. Actually, first things first. Behind him. In the back of his hood. It's much darker than this, but I'm gonna make it as dark in just a sec. All right. I like that. It's very good. Now it's time to make this much darker by going over it with one of those. Okie dokie. Sweet. That looks good. Does it? There we go. We're going to make his staff very black. Perfect. I'm gonna go to his face as soon as I'm done with this black part. Okay, I'm liking that so far. Now, his neck is this very weird off color. So it kind of morphs from this to this. It's like an in-between the purple and skin. So it's gonna be interesting. Bye. Thanks for sticking around for so long. It's been fun chatting. Thank you. I'll see you later. Okay, now on to his skin tone. Let's take an E51. Let's take that and fully go over all of his face. And there we go, that's gonna be our base layer. Upon that, we shall build the rest of his face. Hi, how are you? Thank you. That's nice of you to say. Thanks. So his face, his hair is a dark brown, but it also gets a little white towards the end. It's gonna be interesting. Let's use some gray stuff for it. That's cool. That's cool. Let's make his hair much darker. Since today, I don't know. I've been drawing for as long as I can remember. It's definitely been over, like, It's definitely been over like 4 years. Like 5 or 6 probably. But like that's 5 or 6 of like being serious with drawing. Before that, I would draw like stick figures all the time. Since like kindergarten. Nice. Okay, so I have to make his hair a little more gray. Okay, let's add in some of this. And some of that. And then where did I put that last brown marker? Over here. Let's put this right there. And that's funny. Oof. Okay, so I do need to color. I do need to still work on. I do need to still work on this. Specifically, a lot of his coat still, but I'm probably gonna finish up his face and then I'm gonna do his coat, and I should be done. I get my stick figure shirts. Because stick figures deserve to have clothes. Let me think. I've drawn a lot of stuff. Off the top of my mind recently, let me think. I've drawn a lot of characters from Arcane, like VIKTOR, Jinx, Singed, also Echo. I've drawn some characters from JJK, like I've drawn Gojo recently, and the other guy that was with him. The other guy that's with him. And I also drew Freeren, I think, almost 2 months ago. Now I'm gonna take this, and since his flesh is this purpley thing, he has a lot of these like purpley veins all over his face, which I need to add. Gengar, the Pokemon? Yeah, sure, maybe in like another stream. I don't think right now because I've been streaming for a few hours. I'm pretty tired, but maybe another day I could draw Gengar. Pokemon is like my childhood. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Like, take the One Piece art style, for example. A lot of the characters look pretty hard to draw, but once you get, like, look at them for a few minutes and try to draw a few, it's pretty easy to draw all of them. Oh, yeah, yeah. All right, I think I'm probably done. For some reason, the drawing looks much lighter on my camera than it is in real life, but yeah, there it is. 138 minutes worth of drawing. Thanks to everybody who stopped by. It was really fun drawing. Enjoyed talking to a lot of you. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. Bye.